All right, inequalities review. We're graphing, solving, translating inequalities. Got our test tomorrow over this. So let's get started with number 1. We have ABC, 3 different inequalities we have to graph. They're already solved. They're already in y equals mx plus b form for us, so there's no solving here. We graph this part just like we would a normal mx plus b equation. Start with our y-intercept, -5. 2 over 1 is our slope. So rise 2, run 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. We have the inequality right here tells us what our line is going to look like. Greater than tells us a dotted line, and it tells us that it will not be, dotted line, and that it will be shaded above. So dotted or dashed line, greater than is above that line. So all of our solutions are where the y value is greater than or above that line. Number 1 part B, 1/3 x plus 2. Same thing. We start with our y-intercept, plus 2. Our slope is 1/3, up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3. We have greater than or equal to. That is a solid line. The equal to tells us a solid line. Greater than means to shade above. So those are all the solutions for that. Y is less than 6. This is a little bit unique, but it's still like normal. We have our mx plus b, only the mx is gone. Just the y-intercept shows up. So y-intercept is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slope is 0. You can think of that as 0 over 1. 0 is horizontal line. However you remember the 0 slope is a horizontal line. But we have less than, which tells us a dotted line, and less than shaded below. So those are all of our solutions, anywhere where the y value is less than 6. Moving on. Number 2, A, B, and C. We have equations that are in standard form, so we do have to do some solving here. We need these to be in y equals mx plus b form. So minus 5x to both sides. That is a negative y is greater than negative 5x plus 6. This is a -1 coefficient in front of our y. So divide both sides by -1. We're dividing by a negative, so our inequality has to get reversed. -5 over -1 becomes positive 5x. 6 over -1 becomes -6 or -6. So y-intercept is down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slope is 5 over 1. Up 5 over 1. Up 5 over 1. We have greater than here, so that is a dotted line shaded above. B, 3x plus 9y is greater than or equal to 0. We're trying to get y by itself. 9y is greater than or equal to -3x. Divide by 9, divide by 9. Y is greater than or equal to -1/3 x, once we reduce that. The y-intercept here is missing. We could think of it like a plus 0. You don't need to write that in though. Starts at 0, that's our origin. -1/3 is our slope. Greater than or equal to is a solid line shaded above. Greater than means to shade above. Equal to tells us to do the line solid. 4x minus 2y is less than or equal to 8. Get the 4x to the other side. -2y less than or equal to -4x plus 8. by -2. Don't forget to flip the inequality when you divide by a negative. -4 over -2 is positive 2x. 8 over -2 is -4. Your y-intercept is -4. Start there. Your slope, 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Get the idea. Greater than or equal to tells us a solid line. And we shade above. All right. Number 3. We start with our word problems down here on number 3. Let's take a look. In order for a student to be considered for a certain college grant, the combined income of the student's parents must be no more than $25,000. Important right there. If it's not more than, that means it can be less than, or it can be equal to 25,000. So the combined income has to be less than or equal to 25,000. F is the father's income. F is the father's income. M is the mother's income. The total income would have to be when you add the mother's plus the father's income. So M plus F has to be less than or equal to 25,000. There is your answer. There's nothing to solve because it just says which inequality represents the condition of the grant. So there we go, number 3. Number 4, Mike sells used cars. He makes $250 per week plus $200 for each car he sells. Because of Mike's cost of living, he needs to earn at least $12,500 per week to pay all of his extravagant bills. How many cars must he sell each week to accomplish this? So we're only looking at 1 week at a time. So this per week, the $250 per week, we're not going to multiply that times weeks because we're only looking at 1 week. So here's what I'm thinking. Here's how I'm going to set this up. This is his income. This is his bills. I know that his income has to be more than the cost of all of his bills. So that's going to be a greater than, or it could be equal to. He has exactly enough to pay, then that's okay too. His bills are $1,250. Now we just got to figure out what his income is. $250 for the week, plus $200 for each car. So plus 250 X, or C, however you want to say that. Write the inequality and solve it to find your answer. So here is our inequality. 250 plus, I wrote that wrong. Whoops, that's not a 250. That's a 200X. Uh-oh. So 250 plus 200X is greater than or equal to 1250. Now we have to solve it. Solving it is just getting the X by itself. So minus 250 minus 250. 200X is greater than or equal to 1,000. Divide by 200. Divide by 200. X is greater than or equal to 5 cars. So as long as he sells more than or equal to 5 cars, then he's good. He can continue his extravagant lifestyle. Number 5. At a local electronics store, CDs cost $7, DVDs cost $20. Write an inequality to describe the number of CDs, X, DVDs, which is Y, that can be purchased for $75 or less. So, the price of all the stuff I'm buying, and I'm going to compare that with my budget. My budget is $75. The price of everything, or the cost of everything, has to be less than that. It says 75 or less, so it can be less than 75, or it can be equal to 75. The cost is, let's see, CDs are $7 each. It's an old problem if they're still selling CDs. So, CDs are X, they are $7 each. That's 7X, 7 per CD. Plus, we're also buying DVDs. DVDs are $20 each. We're going to call those Y. So 20Y. There's my total cost, 7X and 20Y. That has to remain under my budget, which is less than or equal to $75. I can't solve because I have two variables, so we're only writing the inequality. Make sure you read the question carefully. If it only says to write the inequality, then you only need to write it. If it says to solve it, then you need to solve it. Number 6. Create an inequality that meets the following conditions. It has the solutions 3, 7. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is a solution. 8, -1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. -1 solution. And -4, 6. So these are 3 solutions. I know these have to be in the shaded area. Non-solutions, -7, 3. Make those in red. That is not a solution, so it can't be in the shaded area. And 2, -8. That cannot be in the shaded area. So as long as my line divides the red dots from the blue dots, then that inequality should be good. So I'm thinking if I get a slope that is -1, it could look something like this right here. It goes down 1 over 1. And that will split the blue from the red. Now there's a bunch of different correct answers here. This is definitely not the only correct answer. This is just one of them. My slope is -1, so I'm going to say -x. My y-intercept is also -1, so I'm going to say -1. Then I have to look at my inequality symbol. I have the shaded area will be above, so I'm going to call that greater than. I did a solid line, so I'll say equal to. Y is greater than or equal to -x plus 1. Includes the blue dots, does not include the red dots. There is one example of a correct answer. Definitely a lot more correct answers than that, but there's just one of them. Number 7. Circle the points that are solutions to the inequality 2x plus y is less than or equal to 6. I did not give you a graph for this on purpose. I didn't want you to graph it. I wanted you to plug the points in. You could graph it if you had a graph, but I want to be able to do it multiple ways. So, plug the x into the x, plug the y into the y. If it is a solution, then it will come out to be less than or equal to 6. So we're just going to test each point. Here, x is 5, y is 9. So 2 times 5 plus 9 is less than or equal to 6. I can already tell that's not true, but 19 is not less than or equal to 6. Not a point, or not a solution there. The next one, x is -1. Y is 4. So 2x plus y is less than or equal to 6. We have negative 2 plus 4. That comes out to be 2 is less than or equal to 6. That looks to be true. That is a solution. 12 and negative 12. 2 times 12 is 24. Plus another 12 is 36. That is not less than or equal to, oh, wait a minute. Y is negative 12. 24 plus negative 12 is not 36. It is 12. Still not less than or equal to 6, though. Not a solution. 15, negative 30. I gotta be careful with my signs. 2 times 15 plus negative 30 is less than or equal to 6. We have 30 plus negative 30, that is 0, is less than or equal to 6. True, that is a solution. So we have 2 solutions out of the 4. Number 8. Well, I don't have to rush through this. I don't have a 15-minute time limit anymore. I gave in and paid for the pro version of this recording software so that you can have full-length videos. April claims that 2, 15, 0, 1, and negative 1, 7 are all solutions to this inequality. Y is greater than 5x plus 1. Is she correct or incorrect? Why or why not? So, I could do this 2 ways. I could graph this inequality, find the shaded region. Uh-oh, I'm going to have to pause there. We'll finish up really quick. Y and x. I'm not going to graph this since there's not a graph for me. I'm just going to plug the numbers in. So, x is 2. 5 times 2 plus 1. I need y, 15, to be greater than that. That is 10. 15 is greater than 11. So, that is true. That's a solution. 0, 1, we have 1 is my y, that's greater than 5 times 0 plus 1. 1 is not greater than 1. That is not a solution. So, we have April is incorrect. Because 0, 1 is not a solution. There you go. Good luck. Enjoy the review.